hypotenuses, we divide it by 2 and we get the 30 side. 1 divided by 2 is a half.
Yeah, I'm just confused on why can't a squared be 2 then? Why is it b squared on the one with the 4? Other triangle.
This guy right here.
Yeah, why isn't that 2?
See how this is 30? The opposite of 30 is here. The opposite of 30 is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the opposite of 60, so it's going to be this kind of guy, right? So 4 and 2, 1 and a half. Do we see the relationship there? Half of the hypotenuse is the 30 side. Half of the hypotenuse is the 30
Half
side.
the hypotenuse is opposite of 30.
Mhm.
God, this is confusing.
So all it is whatever your hypotenuse is, divide it in 2, and you get the opposite of the 30-degree side. Okay? So whatever 30 degrees is looking at, that's half of your hypotenuse. So if the hypotenuse was 12, what would the opposite of 30 be? 6. If the hypotenuse was 5, what would the opposite of 30 be? 5 over 2, right? Fractions are your friend. It's division for lazy people, okay? If the hypotenuse was 18, what would the opposite of 30 be, Kyle? 18 divided by 2 is?
I couldn't tell you right now.
I've destroyed his mind. I've fried all the circuits. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Cool. So let's go back to our original problem. I said this was 4. You said this was 2. That is correct. If you don't have this one memorized or don't see the magic of how to make that all work, use PTHAG. 2 squared plus, we don't know what this is, we'll call it b. Okay? B squared equals 4 squared. 4 plus b squared equals 16. B squared equals 12. Subtracted 4. Root both sides, we get b equals root 12. Is that in simplest form? Root 12. Let's check. Break it down. 3 and 4, right? 3 is good, 4 isn't. 2 and 2. Put them all in jail. One's going to get out. So this guy is 2 root 3. All you need to know that the opposite of 30 is half of the hypotenuse. So if the hypotenuse is 4, it's 2. If it's 1, it's a half. If the hypotenuse is 30, what's the 30 I shouldn't say 30. Confusing. 40. What's the opposite of 30?
20.
20. That's it. And then after that, you can use PTHAG to figure out this guy, right? Okay. And again, I could write this triangle in 2 ways. I could write it like this, or I could write it like this. This is the opposite of 30 here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the opposite of 30 over here. You just got to know which side's which, right?
Okay.
Depending on which way it's sitting. But either way,
So those are going to give us the hypotenuse.
probably, yeah.
I hope so.
Well, if I don't, use PTHAG. Okay? The opposite of 30 is going to be?
2.
The opposite of 30 is going to be?
2.
2. All right. So those are your special triangles. Let's talk trig. So inverse or regular trig. The regular trig is just our SOHCAHTOA, right? We've got sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of some angle, right? Cosine of some angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent equals opposite over adjacent. How do we remember these things? We use SOHCAHTOA. S-O-H, sine, opposite, hypotenuse. Cosine, adjacent, hypotenuse. Tangent is TOA, right? Tangent, opposite, adjacent. This helps you memorize this. What's important to know for the test? This. If this helps you memorize it, use it. But I'm not going to ask you write SOHCAHTOA, right? I'm going to ask you to do these things. So if this helps you memorize it, good. Memorize this so you can get that.
I'm gonna write that down.
Okay? Again, all it's meaning is that sine, cosine, tangent. I think this is the hardest part of your test because I wasn't here to teach you this like day by day by day. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate. And I understand that, which is why I put very few problems. Chapter 8 in total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 problems. That's it. And it's the bare minimum. I cut it down as much as I possibly could. So that's all that means. And these are our tools, sine, cosine, and tangent, to find lengths of triangles, okay? Missing sides. Pythag is really nice and easy, I think, right? And it's because when we're given two sides, you can find one. Makes it easy. But if you're only given one side, these are the things you gotta use. So if I give you a triangle, let's say this guy right here is 55 degrees, okay? And I say this side is, this hypotenuse is 7. And I want you to find the missing side. Can't use Pythagorean theorem, right? We're missing two sides, and these sides aren't equal, are they? Can't be. This guy's a 55-degree angle. What's this angle up here? 35, right? Because they all have to equal 180. 35 plus 55 plus 90 is 180. If you don't know that, that's okay. But you can tell the angles aren't going to be equal, so the sides aren't going to be equal. So we got a problem. We need to find this guy, but we're only given an angle and a side. How do we do it? Trig. SOHCAHTOA. So this is the angle we're sitting in. Let's put theta sitting in there. Okay, this is my Sunday school teacher, theta. Let's put her in that corner. Okay. From her perspective, what's the opposite side to her?
X.
X. Okay, so this is our opposite. From her perspective, this would be the adjacent then. Why is this one the adjacent? Because this one's the hypotenuse. It's across from the 90, right? Hypotenuse doesn't matter where you're sitting. Hypotenuse is a hypotenuse. Okay? So now we know this. So we can ask ourselves some equation that has opposite and hypotenuse in it to find the opposite side. Which one has opposite and hypotenuse in it? Which one has O and H up there? Sine. So we can set up an equation. Sine of theta. What's our theta here? 55. That's our angle. That's all theta means is an angle. Okay. Equals opposite over hypotenuse. What's our opposite?
X.
We don't know. It's x. Over hypotenuse, which is 7. Now we can do algebra. We like algebra. Algebra is our friend. We hate geometry. Okay. So how do we get x on its own? Multiply by 7. So we multiply both sides by 7 because it's an equation, right? Got to do it to both sides. Times 7 times 7. And we're left with this. 7 times the sine of 55 equals x, because these two cancel out, right? Cool. Now you plug this into your calculator and tell me what x equals. Let me go get a calculator. And I will do my best to make sure all these calculators are in degree mode. Let's double check. Okay, cool. So we type in 7. I'm literally typing in 7. Sine 5. Enter. That's my answer. What did you guys get?
5.734.
Yes, sir. So x equals 5.734. Okay? That's fine by me. Round to 3 digits, round to 2. It's multiple choice, so it'll work out, right? So it's 5.734. Cool. That's this side. We just found that side. You could find this guy for the use, Pythag.
What side did we just find?
We found x.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Now, what if I asked you instead, I didn't ask you for this side, I asked you for this missing side. You could use Pythag if you already knew this one, but let's pretend we don't, okay? New problem, you've never seen this before. Go ahead, okay? Come back afterwards and I'll help you, okay? This thing gets done at 5:30, I think, so. All right, so let's find this guy, okay? Now we need something with adjacent and hypotenuse in it, don't we? What's A and H? Which one has A and H? Cosine. So now we'd set up a different one. Cosine of, what's our angle? 55. 55. Adjacent, we don't know. 7. How do we solve this? 7 cosine 55 equals x. What's this guy going to be? Plug it into your calculator, see what you get.
4.015.
Correct. So now you found that side. That's all that is. Trig isn't so bad, right? You just got to know which tool you're going to use. I'm going to throw another one at you. Okay,
Wait,
let's.
so is that inverse?
No, that's regular trig. Inverse isn't so bad either, but just wait.
So are we gonna have to do regular trig?
You're going to have to do both.
Okay.
Okay. There should be a slash in between trig / inverse,
Okay.
right? But you'll do both. But let's focus on regular trig. What if I did this? I gave you this triangle, and I gave you this side. And I want you to find this side. Which one has opposite and adjacent in it? Tangent. So the tangent of, what's our angle? 55 equals opposite, which is 3, adjacent, which is x. A little more complicated.